And here we are at the offices, of course, in Weston with the financial expert, Tulio Rodriguez. Tulio, it's so nice to have you in our show, Living in Weston, and to share with you the TV screen one more time.
Thank you, Caroline. For me as well, it's a pleasure to share with you the screen.
I want to talk to you, and I see you on TV. I read your newspaper articles. I see your lectures all about the economy and the impact of the economy in our world, in the families, not only here in Weston, but throughout the nation. And one of the concerns of our clients and our viewers is the inability to pay their debts, how they feel about the situation and where they have gone into. Do you think that foreclosures and short sales are a thing of the past, or do you think there's more to come?
Well, that is a question that has many angles and many answers, and I'm going to try to address it just by telling the audience that the only way to have these analyses is to put them in context. As you know, we need to study the history, what happened in the previous years, how did we get into this crisis, and how are we coming out of it? You know that China grew consistently during 5-7 years at a 10% GDP, gross development product, per year. The United States, we grow when we had a good year at 5%. China was growing at 10%. All that money was being saved, centralized in that government in China through the years. That money finally made it back again to the international market and made it back again into the United States. Looking for what? Looking for the most attractive paper, financial paper that there was, and that was a mortgage in the United States, which, as you know, it was sacred. The banks, especially those called investment banks, had a big responsibility in all this process, and many fantastic products were engineered to lend money to persons and to property that did qualify or did not qualify. Then these mortgages were bundled, packaged, and resold back into the market. When people began to default, then the banks began to default. The crisis exploded, and the moral in the issue is that this is a crisis generated by a monetary and an economic policy. And to answer your question, Caroline, I do think that the worst part is over, but wrong monetary policies could bring new crises at the end. There are still a lot of people in the line that will default, that have not defaulted yet. There are still many homes underwater. Examine yourself that are watching this show. What is the price of your home, and what is the balance of the mortgage? Many of you have not made a home payment, some of you in several months, some other in several years. Some of you are still waiting for a miracle, and the number of people waiting for a miracle needs to come down. Once that happens, then we can say, yes, that the world is over.
I think it's amazing how all this global economy and all these issues affect us right here. And I talk to people every day that are currently going through this crisis. And what amazes me the most is that people are not doing anything about it. There's a lot of people out there that either they're waiting for a miracle, or they're afraid of that social stigma. You know, they say, well, I don't want to put a sign in front of my yard, or are you going to bring people here to show my home? They're going to know that I'm in default. What is your opinion on this?
Well, Caroline, those are big words. She's mentioning social stigma, and that's a definition associated with good or bad. There is a maximum rule that says no one is in real control. Sometimes we think that the bank is in control, that society is in control. But imagine what we have now. It's called debt forgiveness. That did not exist. That is an innovation. That's a new term from modern capitalism. In old Greece civilization, if you could not pay your debt, you became enslaved. It was not in the United States until 1833 that jail was a common place for those who did not pay their debts. It was not until 1898 with the Nelson Act when the country had a lasting bankruptcy code, and those have a real debt protection. In many languages, debt is synonymous of sin, synonymous of guilt, and is in general of great benefit to the lender, not to the borrower. However, my friends, the world has changed. It is difficult to determine what the social outcome is going to be and which social outcome is better than other. This is not just fair or just beneficial. It's just what it is, and it is an efficient decision if taken on time. I'm talking about short selling. There is always a cost of opportunity in every decision. Every sale has a purchase. Every loan is a debt due. But the rules are changing. Institutions are beginning to accept guilt. This is important. This is a very important thing, that you have to take action and do something about it. To analyze with a professional that really help you to make sense on the decision that will hurt your credit the least.
That is so important, Tulio, because I think people need to understand, and our viewers and our clients, we always stress the importance of take action, not let it go to foreclosure. There's so many options out there. And I think it's important for you to tell us, what is the difference of a short sale and a foreclosure?
Well, before I tell you that, there is something that you guys need to understand. In the United States, you either have good credit or you have a lot of money. But when you don't have money and you don't have good credit, then you basically become a social reject. In a foreclosure, to answer your question, Caroline, there is no permanent relief. You're going to be up to 7 years before you can buy a new home, and that's going to have the highest ding on your credit score. In a short sale, if it's negotiated properly, you're going to be out of debt and you're going to obtain a permanent relief. You're going to be able to buy a home within 2 to 3 years after the short sale, and that will have the lowest ding in your credit score. There is also something that the banks have been offering, which is a loan modification that will provide you with a temporal relief. If you are under the water, that will help you. You stay tied up to the original debt. A loan modification sometimes can increase the payment of your principal unless you can manage to negotiate with the bank a reduction on the principal.
Now, Tulio, if we're ready, our clients are ready, our viewers are saying, okay, I am ready, I'm going to make that step. When is the best time to really start that short sale process? And what do clients and viewers can expect?
Well, that's an excellent question. And remember, this is a very emotional decision. And when you have a lot of emotions involved, you need to bring a rational attitude toward a rational decision. You have to have clarity of objectives and clarity of goals. You have to identify all positive alternatives. If you don't know what your options are, it will be much difficult to decide. Once you know the options, you select the best course. Value the opportunity cost, which implies what would happen if I do this instead of the other thing. Choose the option with the highest payoff. If you know that the house will never reach a market value, then you are clear. If you know that you will never make enough money to pay the balance for the mortgage, then you're clear that you need to make the move. Accept that that house was never yours in the beginning, was never yours in the first place. You need to be efficient and be with the right guidance. You need to get rid of the house and the debt, and above all, any potential taxes. We, at course, have processed successfully hundreds of cases. You need experience, somebody to talk, and above all, to be treated with dignity. Depending on each case, on average, you have around 1 year after you have defaulted. Times were even longer before. Now they're getting shorter. Remember, this is a family problem. This is a financial problem, not a legal problem. Obviously, it has legal ramifications, but these are the consequences and not the origin. Remember, never is too late. If you have any financial issue, if you have your home with some problems, we at course can help. I am Tulio Rodriguez. See you next time.
Well, Tulio, I am sure the viewers are going to have lots of questions. This is a topic that we've been discussing for many years now, and unfortunately, it's not over yet. But I really appreciate your expertise. If you have any questions or you have any topics that you would like us to address, please give us a call or visit our website, send us an email. We are here at Course to help you with all your issues. Again, thank you so much, Tulio, for being with us. Until next time, living in Weston. Thank you.